We return once again to Rocket Robot on Wheels. I've decided that I'm not going to bother getting the last few things in Pyramid Scheme because, quite frankly, that's a load of pants. Also, we're at such a point right now, I believe we can actually go fight the final boss. We have 68 things, and I believe it's only a 65 ticket switch to open the final boss. But yeah, here we go. And that shouldn't transfer us straight in. It will just, yeah, it produces a telepad. But we do have one level left, and I should, at bare minimum, show off at least a little bit of that. I mean, come on, I'm not speedrunning here, and if I was, I would choose to not do that. I would pick a better game for that I could actually learn. With my old person hands and my lack of competence that I can't blame on age whatsoever. Anyway, hello, Retro. How you doing? Now, if I could just remember where the grapple point actually is here. I think I'm supposed to stand on this mound, which would explain why it's up here. Oh god, I tried to speedrun like once, and I just kind of don't feel that I have the competency required for it in general. That spider looks like it's got the shadow of some dude like on its back pattern here. Like, it kind of looks like, I don't know, like a really badly modeled Elvis kind of thing, like you would see in that terrible 3D Earthworm Jim game. Played more Ni no Kuni today? Well, I have not played any of those games yet. Anyhow, this level is called Food Fright, and it is a combination of the two concepts you could probably guess, judging by all this chocolate and this absolutely good lord, this clown. It's even got a gold tooth. Well, you get what you pay for with a level title like that, I guess. I gotta say, I really love this as like a pun, and I got a feeling that the level is going to live up, at least insofar as you can imagine out of a platformer level. It's gonna give me what little bit I've asked for, which, you know, I admit is not a ton, but considering this game... Jeez, oh man, was that 3 damage from one hit? Well, alright, game's angry at me for making progress. I get it, dude, but also... runs better on the Switch than on a lot of the console. Well, it might be better optimized for the Switch, which, you know, happens reasonably often. Okay, no, is it only 2 hits? Wait, we took 2 damage from that one, but didn't we take 3 from the other? Man, I don't even know anymore. I just know things are doing more than 1 point of damage. And I don't like being at not full HP. Oh, right, because the spider kind of hurt us for some reason. Oh, now that thing looks incredibly silly. Very possibly... Ooh, thank you for the resub, Irene.
Why couldn't this show up yesterday when I had a great one from Alvarez? Also, it gets even cuter in later iterations.
See, the thing that I think about with that is very pointedly that I know Level 5 has a fairly long and storied history of doing stuff for a lot of Nintendo hardware. Because, after all, quite obviously, the developers of... Ah, crud. Thing went over the edge. The Professor Layton series, yeah. I couldn't remember the name of it. I'm sorry. I'm really falling down on the job here of being like, you know, that someone who knows things about video games. Sure, I'll tell you about the cockroach game, but like, come on. Can you imagine knowing actual gaming knowledge, I guess? Also, look at this guy. If we can get around the... I'd like a better back view so that we can see the hunch. Like, this dude has no neck. I kind of appreciate that out of a skeleton. Looks like I do, really. Not that I have no neck, but... yeah, I've definitely... My posture has definitely kind of gone to rat shit over the years because I, like everybody else, just immediately shrimp as soon as I'm at the computer desk. Just lean right into those monitors. Even though, like, right now I have monitors that are larger than what a decent TV would have been when I was a kid. Oh god, it's like the alligator game. Oh. Well, that gave us a ticket. Gonna be honest, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing in this level. This is 100% blind. I have never seen even so much as a texture in this level because, as I believe I've explicated previously, Pyramid Scheme did kind of scare the pants off me when I was a kid, so, you know, big ol' weenus, but whatever. I like the 9 version of the Malboro. I actually still have not played World of Final Fantasy yet, so I don't 100% know offhand what that looks like. Mostly whenever I think about Malboros, I think about the ones from 10, probably because FF10 is far and away the one I've played the most. It's like the easiest one to pick up and play. I think it's kind of understandable. So just downloading the SD card. I gotcha. Oh, that is definitely pretty cute. Look at the huge bug eyes on it. But I'm also, like, looking at how the lips are very... well, the amount of detail there is like, huh, that's... well, it's not a terrible design choice, but it's an interesting one. Oh, good. That's gonna be a very tight jump, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think this really wants me to mash jump in order to climb that pile, so I'm thinking I may have to find a different route. Yeah, something like that. And so I guess it's just a whole lake of river of vanilla shake. Meanwhile, yeah, this you can definitely tell chocolate from all the little bits. There's even some white chocolate, too. God, I haven't had anything white chocolate in a while. You know, suddenly hitting that very real phase of like, oh man, I'm looking at the thing that looks like food and it's making me hungry. Ah. Metal Mario is actually a machine now to, I guess, make him similar to the Metal Sonic. I don't know. Probably just the thing that happened that way. I mean, listen, it's not 1993 anymore. Nintendo and Sega aren't just doing things because of each other anymore. Sega is too busy making bad decisions all on their own. Which, admittedly, Nintendo is probably doing that too, but... At bare minimum, Sega at least... I mean, is it just Sega? But listen, the Sonic franchise is doing really well. Like, it's... Sonic is probably at the best that it's been since the Sega Genesis days. The rest of Sega, however... Although, apparently, and I would have to dig into this to see how actually accurate it is, but somebody posted something in a Discord a couple days ago suggesting that there was a tabletop RPG based on the original Phantasy Star on the way. And let me tell you, I am befuddled, first of all, because, like, who is that for except for me? And B, quite happy about it, as you can guess by that description. So, I'm hoping that is a real thing, and that it's good, and people check it out. Also, that the book is, like, relatively affordable when it comes out, assuming that they're going to have enough sense to actually release a physical book, which... I mean, listen, I say it like that, it's Sega. You gotta be careful with them sometimes. They will sometimes do something and you'll just be like, why did you do that? This music's pretty good, though. I like this song. It's pretty decent. Alright, now these weird killer marshmallows, as you can probably guess, and in fact, as you don't even need me to show you, they're exactly the same as the crazy mushrooms. Apparently in this universe, the only food that exists is candy, so... I mean, it's an amusement park. I probably shouldn't be like, oh, well, no. I mean, even then, I see amusement park. I don't really think marshmallows or these kinds of little, specially apportioned out in little squares kind of chocolate bars. This chocolate bar looks a little bit too high class to be the sort of thing that you get in an amusement park. You know what I'm saying? It may not be, like, proper Belgian shit or anything, but, you know, compared to, like, a Hershey bar, and you might get something that's made out of marshmallow in an amusement park, but it would probably be, like, shaped like something? I don't know. I'd expect more of like funnel cakes or something. I haven't been to any sort of amusement park or anything of that nature for absolute goddamn eons either, so, you know, perhaps I'm speaking completely out of pocket here, but clearly I am not certain that I do, so yeah. Let's go right back to pretending that I am not a complete buffoon, but only mostly one. Where were we? Oh yeah, the bad mod ID. I mean, at the very least, I do know why you say that, because this level of camera noise is pretty stupid. I think a couple of other games of this era had sort of this level of, you know, camera ticking noise. Like, okay, yes, quite a few games on this platform did have, oh hey, there's the, like, the one that's probably supposed to be the best hidden, and we got that for free. Absolutely incredible. This level design is going completely on its head. Like, yeah, quite a few of them otherwise did have, you know, we've played Mario 64. We know what it sounds like turning the camera on that. It was not quite as obnoxious as this, though. Or, like, the first 3D Gex game had some pretty bad camera ticking noises, and Rayman 2, I think, also was not great, but that might have just been when the camera got stuck, which was frequent because, well, I think we all know why the camera always got stuck in that game, because, hey, early 3D platformer. Sega, though. Sega's current state of affairs. Like, do any of you remember? I think it was at the Game Awards last year. And by last year, I mean 2023. It is still 2024, unfortunately. As much as I'd like this garbage year to be over, so that way I can... So that way we can start on a new garbage year, and we can be like, oh boy, this year is just as shit as the same as the previous year. It's like this barrier of defined years is not very meaningful when it comes to world events. But hey, some people still believe very seriously in horoscopes, so like, what am I supposed to say there? Sorry, my point here is that, like, remember when they had this big ad about, oh, they're gonna revive all these retro franchises and Golden Axe and Streets of Rage, and I'm just sitting here like, we haven't heard hide nor hair of that in a year. And okay, game development takes a while now, but at bare minimum, I would at least like to hear, hey, we are still working on this. Here's a picture of a guy at a computer with a model that, if you're particularly not sober, you might vaguely mistake as being, Gilius Thunderhead, I think was the name of the dwarf guy from Golden Axe. Gilius Thunderhead or something like that. Yeah. And of course, we all kind of remember the barbarian guy, because his name was Axe Battler, despite the fact that he had a sword, which was quite funny to me. And the Frank Frazetta woman was named Tyrus Flare, I think. I don't know why I'm you know, specifically name-checking her as being particularly Frank Frazetta style. I mean, so is Axe Battler, and I mean, I guess Gilius would probably count too, even though I'm sitting here like, I don't know offhand if there's any Frazettas out there that are just, like, I don't remember if Frank Frazetta specifically painted anything that would be like, you know, a dwarf. A lot of just general purpose badass fantasy warriors, but most of them were either human or too heavily armored and on too, you know, and in black armor usually in that case, because he liked his darker color palettes. You know, how many guys in that era didn't, right? Well, Michael Whalen, I think, usually painted stuff that was a lot more colorful. Whatever. And I think some of the other things they were pitching out there were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do another Crazy Taxi, and meanwhile, all I'm thinking about Crazy Taxi is, oh boy, the music licensing nightmare, because, well, I guess you don't technically need the licensed music for Crazy Taxi, but also, I don't know, there is just something about the vibe there, right? It'd be weird to see one where they did not come in with, like, oh god, what Offspring song do they have on that game? It was like 1999 or so it was probably Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Or something else from that era of album. Regardless, yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, it's an essential part of the game experience, because, truth be told, it isn't, but if you played it with none of that music, it would feel a little bit off. So perhaps that'll be why they will not be able to afford to make another single-player Phantasy Star game in that, you know, mass revival of IPs. Just me coming out here suggesting things that only I would care about, as usual. Oh, hey, look, I remember you can go up the hill this time. The other one I would love, and again, literally, I think this would only be for me, would be another Echo the Dolphin game. Not because I'm necessarily convinced that the Echo the Dolphin games are, like, fun to play, because they're kind of not. But also, just from a stance of aesthetics, basically, that game had a sense of style. Well, series, not even just single game, obviously. Okay, I can't make that shot. Can I get there from, like, anywhere? I think that if I get on the ground, well, obviously the first part here is getting into position here. That looks a little bit makeable. The way that camera cut out looked a little bit weird. Oh, I can't grapple from a jump. That's unfortunate. I feel like trying something else, because I've got the machine parts already, because this is, again, a part of the game where they're like, hey, yeah, you really need to do that early. So if I can figure out where's the... Oh, there's the console. I didn't realize that the clown mouth opened like that, so... Eat. Oh boy, that's got things moving now, so perhaps we'll actually be able to get some shit done. Is that what it was all along? Is that I was basically trying to sequence break and I didn't realize it? I can totally believe it. Try standing on the dude's tongue. Okay, so I'm gonna have to actually, like, jump for that. Alright. Definitely use a boost vertically here. Okay, yeah, there's no way that works. So this might not open as much of the level as I want it to. Unfortunately. Okay, I just drop off over there. Gotcha. Well, that's doable. Ooh, yeah, now we're getting it. Now we're getting places. Yeah, see, I know I spent like half an hour getting literally nothing done, but this level seems to be pretty cool so far. This feels like a better level than the previous one by a pretty wide margin. It's also kind of the best level idea I think the devs had. So, naturally, that means that they had to save it for the very end, right? They gotta make sure you get to the absolute end of the game so that way you can see the one good idea they had. Anyway, I see rings in here. And I see a grapple point. I hope we don't have to do that in the middle of the ring course, because that sounds like it would suck. And we don't have a vehicle yet, so I'm assuming that it's an on-foot thing. One of the very rare, and by one of, I mean the only ring course that we've had on foot at this point. That's a bit of a nerve-wracking proposition, but, you know, we do what we gotta do. And we do it in 35 seconds. Yikes. Ooh, all right. Now we're gonna be in... Now we're in flavor country, everybody. Because these ring sections are already always pains in the ass, and now we've got to deal with the absolute garbage hit detection on these rings. Why can't it be that generous when I'm in a fucking vehicle? Meanwhile, here, where it's a detriment, oh yeah, the hitbox of those rings is like 10 million years wide compared to what it actually looks like. Love you too, Sucker Punch, you dickheads. How did you guys get enough money to make another game after this? Jesus. Evil fucks. Where next ring? Ugh. Just like any 3D platformer, eventually the camera becomes your worst enemy, right? It's like in Banjo-Kazooie. We didn't get to it, unfortunately, because I got annoyed at bad controls. But Mad Monster Mansion is a real rat bastard for the camera is your worst enemy kind of positioning. Ugh. Fuck. I hope that was the end of the course, because that would make my life a lot easier. Hello? What is the perception of depth? Also, I feel like the game has done away with the timeout buzzer for these, strangely enough. Like, okay, you still get the crappy metallic thunk when you hit the wrong one. But if you run out of time, you get, like, no sound notification whatsoever. It's odd. Okay, that's, we still had like 5 seconds after that. That's pretty generous if you don't screw up the jumps. Otherwise, though, I mean, that's conceptually kind of mean. But truth be told, not so bad. I am somehow not frustrated by that whatsoever. Unbothered, in my lane, and moisturized or something. Oh god, that camera rotation almost made me barf. Not quite literally, but I mean, that was pretty aggressive. All right, that was some rotational momentum. How do I land on? There we go. Okay, is that? We'll go down to the engine. I think we should deal with the grapple thing first, though. Yeah, grapple beam up, and we got some flippy platforms here. This looks deceptively simple. I'm sure it's gonna crawl up on me as I try to do very definite jumps. Get over here. Oh, doesn't work. That was a little nerve-wracking. Alright, so... what's the deal here, Captain? You're making me a little nervous with the fact that these things aren't moving. Well, I definitely needed that token, so it's fine. How many are we at for this level, by the way? Not even half yet. That's fine. We haven't been in here that long, truth be told, and I took my sweet time figuring out how to open this. Or really most of the level for that matter, so... oops. That's my bad. Alright, now we gotta go through these fast. Hey, Roundy, how's it going, champ? Hope you're having a good evening. As for me, well, so far, things are alright. There's a strange pattern going on here. Or... got rated twice. Nice. Glad to hear. Now, this stuff cannot possibly be safe to touch, right? And I have to actually find the vehicle before I can go on the panel. How dangerous is this? It is. And it seems like we can't... No, we can jump in it, alright. I was gonna say, that's a little mean if you can't jump in the swamp ooze, but... I mean, by this game's standards, that's kind of baby level at this point, actually. The hell am I complaining about? It could be so much worse. Probably. Pick that up, and... Oh, right. Just go for that thing. Oh. Now that was not fun. But also was kind of totally expected once I fell in the green sludge. Which, come to think of it, okay, one downside, because this is definitely going to be a place that we have to spend a lot of time at. I'm sure of it. We've got the vehicle buttons here. I don't know why my brain was trying to call them signboards, which is extremely wrong. But, you know, that just tells me we're going to be here for no more than, well, no fewer than a few minutes here anyway. Yeah. So good at words, everybody. Except for the part where I'm not. Yeah, the downside as I'm trying to get to is this seems like a bit of a ways to travel to get over to this part of the level. So once we die, as we just did there, it's gonna be a minute or so before we can actually get back there. And I am not certain how to feel about that. But I will just collect those health units even though I don't need them yet. At all. I see we're taking the long way, so give us a minute here. Oh, yeah. This guy is still here. Right. Come here. I forgot what the enemies were in this level, aside from big jerks who do an amount of damage that... Yeah, by the way, Round the Wheel, who... longtime friend of mine and guy who I enjoy the contents and creations of, is back to streaming, at least over his winter break. He is a teacher, so that doesn't really give you a whole lot of free time to do stuff like streaming. Or YouTube, for that matter. But he's got time now. And he got himself a green screen. Yeah, I mean, you've got yourself a green screen. You've got what seems like a pretty good camera. So, that's... Plus, you've got quite a good computer. I forget any of the specifications, but... it does quite well, and I know where a lot of your tastes lie. I think it'll probably handle almost anything you'd throw at it for streaming purposes. Exactly. Oh, that was not my smartest move. It's alright. The floor's not dangerous. Well, there's that big fucking hole in the engine thing over there. I should check out what that does. Is there anything in the hint box here? Not specifically. Well, so much for that. We'll check it out later after we've spent some time with the odd crawling bug-looking vehicle it looks like we're getting here. I'm not completely sure what it's supposed to be. Probably some sort of like low to the ground, you know, spidery thing. A swamp spider. Yeah, turn the camera around. Ah! Yeah, I tell you, this pattern is weird. Yep. Somebody, one of the bots just came through here. Huh? Well, I guess the rule at least tells us what... Do we just throw things into its mouth? Do I have to get closer to it? I've just realized that the mom thing on the shirt, the article of clothing. There we go. Ooh, this is a little finicky. Give me a reroll. At least it's not gonna try to kill me after waiting. Yeah, that's the response, I guess. Alright, game. I mean, on some level, I sort of understand that, I suppose. Well, that's 3. So this is number 4. I guess it'll probably be 5? Question mark? Will we get to find out what the yellow one is? It's probably a gumdrop or something. Gumdrop, yeah, I could tell from the shape. I was like, could be that. It could be a gold nugget. Six. Alright. Well, that's kind of like a rule of 3 sort of thing. Rule of 3 or 5, as it were. Anywho, yes, this happened. Kids, this is what happens when you eat too much candy. You turn into a ticket with the letter F on it. F in the chat for that weird troll creature or something. I don't know. Is F in the chat still a meme that kids do? I am going to assume not, because I'm sure by this point, Gen Alpha is practically speaking a whole new language of slang that people in my age group, you know, that millennials and similar generations are just like, huh? Which, fair enough, that's kind of how our parents started responding to anything we ever said, but also, they just call whoever they're talking to chat. That's an interesting choice, but I mean, streaming has become such a thing. As I come in here just trying to psychoanalyze the memes and behaviors of a prior demographic like that. Okay, yeah, so it is always... They are always separated by two. I just was clearly absolutely doing things in the dumbest way possible last time. Oh, that's a little embarrassing when right at the end and you get knocked off of the spinny things. Well, again, it doesn't really hinder us in any way except to slow us down. So far, it really feels like even those weird sentries that one set of handles is not a threat whatsoever. They are shocking in their lenity toward you, and also in their attack pattern, but I digress. The pun happens entirely by accident, and sometimes I just have to roll with it. And up we go, and here we are back in a place where it's a little bit easier to die. And set you back a long length of time because of how the system is engineered. Does this go anywhere for us? Yes, but not anywhere very useful. And here we are at the river of a substance that definitely, probably is very easy to make a joke about because... I mean, I'm fairly certain as to what it's supposed to be, but let's be real with ourselves. It's a thick white fluid. Oh, are they throwing ads at... Of course they're throwing ads at you. Who am I kidding? It's an Amazon-owned thing, and they're like, oh, well, we're operating at a loss trying to... Well, maybe you should make the service better. Have you ever considered that? Maybe then people would actually want to pay money for it. But I digress. Anyhow, it's going pretty alright. This is a level full of spiders and other things. Oh, well that's, huh. I see. Meanwhile, I'm just over here like, wait, is Twitch Turbo a... I mean... Yeah, like, I sometimes forget that Twitch Turbo is a thing, because I see Twitch Prime and I'm like, did that not just completely supplant Twitch Turbo? But I suppose not. But hey, compartmentalizing things into stuff like that is another way that these corporations can rip you off, etc., etc. But go against tech bros and capitalist deep love and shitification. You are correct, Roundy. What was I thinking? I'm out here thinking about, hey, yeah, why can't we just have things that work properly? Meanwhile, I have to remember that the people who own us are actively trying to leave the world a worse place than they found it, right? Which I think is a reason to hate him even more, because I certainly have had a personal philosophy through my life of, hey, I would like to leave this place at least a slightly better world than when I got here. And I don't necessarily know how, like, doable that is a lot of the time, but, you know, that's partially because, hey, how much impact does a single human being have at any given point? But, yeah. Unfortunately, Retro, here's the problem with money and its entire oh. I would like to probably have this stream not be entirely me complaining about the everything. Yeah, something like that. How you doing, Plastic Alan? You got here basically just in time for me to blow myself up. That's some timing, all right. Hope you're having a good evening. LED aluminum. I'm trying to place here because silently judging me. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I would ask if you lurked long enough for when I kind of went on a big rant at the end of, well, or for that matter, during FF9, when that entire stream was like all rants. Not about FF9, but about like everything else. I really turned into like, man. It's all right. It was, I said some things about the current state of Magic and a little bit about the current state of FF14. And I'll complain about that too, about the fact that I even made this complaint in the first place, that it fucking sucks having a, you know, the regular crowd of people who have basically completely ruined any ability to have conversations about absolutely anything now, because like, hey, yeah, if you say, oh yeah, I was not completely plussed with the current expansion pack. Unfortunately, because of all the chuds who have been complaining about there being a girl character as one of the leads, oh noes, then people immediately assume that if you say, oh yeah, this wasn't completely to my liking, they'll just immediately assume you to be a chud, which, I mean, unfortunately a lot of people are like that, and it fucking blows. But this also came up because I was in one of the Discord servers where I'm in, and some people were discussing Stellar Blade. You guys remember Stellar Blade a little bit, right? It was a game that existed. So, somebody was like, I really don't know anything about this except the fact that the fact that it was turned into this sort of culture war artifact, more or less. I'll save this for a second. We got the Spider Rider. This is a thing that does not let us ride spiders, but it's a strange creature, that's for sure, but it keeps us safe in the swamp, so who am I to complain? yeah, so a bunch of people are like, I don't know anything about like what it's like in a lot of ways, because literally all that happened with Stellar Blade in terms of conversation was a bunch of dudes who don't like women very much as human beings praising it because of a camera perspective pointed at the main character's ass, and a bunch of people immediately responding to the fact that these dudes were saying that they liked it, basically saying that therefore it must be bad. And I have not played Stellar Blade. I don't know anything about the relative quality. Yoko Taro said he liked it, and a lot of people were openly comparing it to Nier Automata, so technically that means I would be more inclined to assume that Stellar Blade is doing something right than I would be to assume that it's doing something wrong. But I don't really know a whole lot of the story, so yeah, there was just that conversation. I'm just like, I was thinking about that at the same time that I was thinking about how I was chatting shit about the final boss of the newest FF14 X pack, and just thinking about how, like, yes, I know we all hate the word discourse, but unfortunately it's the most all-encompassing term that I can think of that covers like any sort of conversation about anything to do with the game that's deeper than quality, and sometimes even would just include quality as a a coverall term. That it's just become fucking impossible to talk about anything anymore because some people have just ruined it. You know, people who don't care at all. And this is true on all sides of the spectrum. Don't get me wrong. There's absolutely like people who, they're not as common, I would say, but there's definitely some people who make a lot of bluster about the things they play, as if it's some sort of like, I don't want to use the term because it's a bad term and bad people are the ones who use it. Anyway, blah blah blah. The conversation is completely diluted. Meanwhile, yeah, Alan, you've got basically the right idea of don't talk to gamers. That's a pretty good way to do it. Like, the more someone postures about it, the less likely they are to be worthy of having a conversation with, to put it quite succinctly. One of my friends used to use gamers as a general reference to everybody. For a while, I was kind of disgusted by it, but nowadays it's like, yeah, whatever. Maybe we shouldn't let them have this, but anywho. You know, just don't let the chuds have good things, basically, is where I'm going with this. Anywho, so the complaints about FF14, Dawntrail, and characters, in this case, there are a lot of people who complain very specifically about a gamesman. There you go. A gamester, perhaps of Triskelion. Wait. I don't remember that episode of Star Trek very well, but I know that you like Star Trek, so hopefully you can appreciate the reference? Question mark? Anyway, yes, the complaints about 14 that a lot of the outrage merchants have been pushing have had to do with the character Wook Lamont, who is the main character of Dawntrail. Well, other than the playable character, obviously, because you're there all the time, but she's the most recurrent party member. People have said that she has the most text of... Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a never-ending chain of certain people being constantly disgusted about the same thing. Some people just cannot give things up. Well, I am very glad, Roundy. Like I said, if I can at least make someone happy. You know, maybe it'll offset all the complaining I feel like I've done in the past couple of streams, even in games that I like. And yet here we are. And yeah, like I said, some things simply never end, Retro. This is it. This is life now. This is communication in the 21st century. Truth be told, I have no idea how much stuff there is to do out here, still. But you can see we've got a decent chunk of completion done on this level, so... At least there's that. But also, I am probably going to depart from this level after a certain amount more, just to round the game out. And, you know, get it done in one session. Yes, they did do that in order to fix certain issues with that, which, hey, fair enough, why not? That stuff definitely tends to require a couple of takes as a rule, and hey, if they're willing to fix issues with that, with the quality of the voice acting, good on them. It's not a great episode, but you've read some good stories that build off it. Well, that's pretty cool, at least. I admit I don't know a ton about all the spin-off Star Trek novels, but I can say this in a very general way. I'm glad that stuff exists. They used 2 studios for Dawntrail voice acting. Yeah, that would cause some issues with that. So... yeah, that could be a bit of a problem. Being that it's Square Enix and the level that they've been operating at in recent memory, I'm going to make the assumption that they were doing whatever seemed like it was the cheapest to them. Okay, so I'm going to take a wild guess at how this puzzle works, which is that we're supposed to go in the direction that these things' eyeballs are pointing. And none of them are staring at this one, so this is probably the start point, right? If we can actually get in the... oh, boy. Is this just death because the goo is so deep? Yes, it is. Well... ugh. That's a little mean. This level is definitely starting to show its teeth a little bit, and I'm not just talking about the design. Well, actually, I suppose I am just talking about the design, but not in the obvious pun way. Oops. Now we're going back through this part to try to get to that location that just killed us due to a very bad level design decision. That, I believe, is the only real death pit we've had in the game so far. Otherwise, the game has been pretty generous about either lava only ticks you once, or you respawn fairly near where you were, fairly near where you fell into the pit. Very few of them have been like, no, you restart the level. But that one... And it's not even like a fast respawn either, which I think makes it even more trying mentally. Wah! Good. Okay, no, we can escape from the death pit, but obviously it's still like, hey, you want to go run through this swamp muck that deals massive amounts of damage to you? So, better assumption is we can just hopefully get on top of those things with our spider crawler. Because otherwise, the timing on jumping off of those looks really tight. But also, dang, whoever heard of a spider with a tail? Am I stuck? I'm stuck. Can I hop with it? 3D platformer. Very silly premise, which I can explain in a second as well. A large part of what this game's thing is based around 3D physics puzzles, which is something that was quite early on in the world of video games. This came out in 1999 and is generally held to be the first game that had like a dedicated 3D physics engine, especially on consoles. Plot premise wise, we're exploring a theme park because one of the mascots hijacked it and got very angry that he was playing second fiddle to a goofy walrus. And yeah, this thing is stuck, by the way, so that's fun. Hey, yeah, sometimes the physics puzzle thing is not always the best way to do it, is all I can say. And not even specifically for this game, I just mean in general. The spider with a tail is a scorpion. Yeah, you've got a good point there, Fire Drake. How are you, by the way? Old buddy. Hope you're having a good evening. I hope you're having a better time than Rocket is here, because we just died in the weird colored swamp. And yes, by the way, if you're saying the amusement park thing only kind of makes sense with some of these levels that we've had, I agree with you. I mean, yes, a lot of them are set up in such a way that they're little distinct areas that could be like little attractions, like little mini game sort of things, but not so much enough of it. Although some of it does have like some interesting thematics to the area, but also, I mean, how much of any sort of, like, even if it's something big like a Disney World kind of thing, is gonna have a space dedicated to a mine, right? Not to mention all of the obviously dangerous substances everywhere. Never mind the, you know, sure, the security robots are freaking the fuck out. They're hazardous by accident, but there's also several parts in this area that the game would really like us to think is some sort of amusement destination with exposed lava in them. And like you can sink into it in a way that you very much could not in real life, even if you couldn't move around very much before you got absolutely obliterated by it, but I digress. Staring at phone numbers all day until your eyes are glazing over, but you're not drowning in a purple swamp. Well, let me tell you this, at the very least, staring at phone numbers all day, it could be worse. Because, yeah, hey, you aren't drowning in a purple swamp. It means you're not getting whatever weird purple swamp goo is in there. I mean, that stuff is not likely to be healthy, right? It's purple swamp water. That means that it's extra nasty, right? In video game parlance. It means that it reverses your controls if we're talking about the Donkey Kong Country series. Thank you, Fire Drake. Ah. We missed a little bit. A Ghost Nappa figure, is that even a thing? Surely it is. Who am I kidding? It's... I feel quite confident that practically any Dragon Ball franchise-related merchandise you could possibly want is something that absolutely exists out there. Alright, so let's return to the Secret of the Ooze here real quick and take one last crack at trying to not get screwed over by this. Maybe specific to DBZ Abridged. Well, even then, I feel like somebody out there has got to be... Yeah, there's got to be, like, at least one custom merch item of that description, correct? That seems like a fair enough assessment. Okay, so... does order even matter for these dudes? And the answer is no. It's just... bump the bug shells. And the weird four-legged... things that... have definitely got, like, a surface texture that reads like it's a hazard from Buck Bumble on them. We'll, okay, I'm gonna let this reset. I think I need a better strategy here. One model someone put together, but that's it. I admit I'm kind of surprised by that being all, but... Although, people will like Garage Kit basically a lot of things. That's the main takeaway that I have from anything to do with model kits, is that if you look out there, there's definitely various kit bashes of basically anything. As to whether or not it's necessarily commercially available, well, that's a whole other ball of wax, but... Is there anything that we can get by going into this thing's rather frightening maw? This looks like it should be a... Yeah. This looks like it should be a warp destination. Oh god, is that supposed to be its brain? Yeah, definitely. It's got a very, like, brain texture. When it becomes viable for me to, like, actually have something like that made... Also, I guess if I were to, like, ever finish a design project, would probably be the other part that I would need to do. Right? Would be I'd have to actually, like, properly design something the whole way. And I am not good at that. Oh, I think that was supposed to be a jump. What is that? Oh, is that an eyeball that's... Yeah, it's an eyeball that's shooting smaller eyeballs. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a new one by me. I think we did a full circuit at least, so we got all the coins out of here. I mean, yeah, there is that. I would at least prefer for it to be my own art, but I'd have to... I would say I would put the Lunamoth Volcarona up as a thing, but there's, like, no fucking way that it would last that long, right? Because Nintendo's lawyers are both powerful and very willing to just, you know, have you executed in a dark alley, right? Yeah, I mean, never mind that. I could probably, like... Even then, I could probably sketch together something that's a little less edit-y, but... Yeah. Although I do have a shirt that I bought from Redbubble that has the phrase third strongest on it, and it's literally just a sprite of the third strongest mole from what I almost called Ness Earthbound, pardon me. Which, yeah, that's definitely something that's a little bit on the not acceptable kind of side for that sort of thing. But I was just like, that's a cool and fun shirt of what is probably one of my favorite gags from Earthbound. I've seen things that are significantly more, like, lazy for... Forget it, I'll just say lazy when it comes to that sort of thing. Yeah, not something that I would really want to chance is anything to do with any of them that come out of the very largest of companies, because especially Japanese companies where you have a lot of those, like, it in the case of that, it's something related to how Japanese copyright law works, if I recall correctly, which is pretty officious and extreme, even by the standards of American copyright. Which is kind of saying a lot, because, good lord, have you looked at how America handles copyright at this point? You know, I'm pretty sure that people who... I'm pretty sure that you can get more jail time for downloading one Metallica song illegally than you can for... well, all kind of horrible things, truly. But, yeah. Oh, well then maybe it might be possible to get away with certain things. Yeah, I would assume so. And again, like most Nintendo properties I would want to avoid. Pokemon especially because it's this huge moneymaker, so Nintendo is surely a little bit more on the lookout for stuff related to that one in particular. But yes, Redbubble stuff with regard to certain franchises, it's very... I have seen quite a few when searching for like anything related to any Toho character, for example, of a lot of instances of just stuff that is other people's art that's been stolen and put on the website as like just no effort. But yeah, anywho, I am not entirely surprised that Game Freak and Creatures Inc. are also kind of a little bit officious when it comes to Pokemon copyright, because quite frankly, they borderline have nothing else. That's a little mean, but also, I mean, when you think about it, Game Freak is a tiny company with less than 200 employees. And literally, I think Creatures Inc. is basically just assigned to the Pokemon trading card game at this point. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do in here, but it appears to be a location to explore with some semblance of depth, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I would probably be avoiding something related to that as much as the Lunamoth Volcarona is, you know, I'll toot my own horn about that and say that's a pretty good design. And oh, I missed this before. All right. As ever, camera being real challenge. I'm trying to think of like other stuff that I've ever searched for on Redbubble for a lot of these. Oh god, I can't see my computer case from here anymore because it's now under my desk. What do I have sticker-wise on there? I forgot. Oh yeah, there's a Patchy on there. There is actually a Pokemon sticker on there of Hatterene. There's an Urianger on there. I've seen a lot of FF14 fan art stuff on Redbubble. A couple of things that are, I think, just basically assets that other people have jacked from the game, but I could be wrong about that. You know, don't take my word as gospel there, because it's not. It's more like treble at this point. Oh god, yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Speaking of Square Enix doesn't care, but I digress. That's a whole other story. So there's plenty of that. There's also a Fate Grand Order Murasaki on there that I did not realize was actually just an asset pulled from the game. I thought that was someone's fan art at first, because it doesn't completely look I had just never seen it before in-game, because quite frankly, I quit playing FGO a while ago because it sucks. It's not fun to play. You've gotten Mega Man stuff off Redbubble. That absolutely... Capcom seems to be very, very in, and has for a very long time, about Mega Man fan stuff. Like, especially Western Mega Man fan stuff. They are just all over that kind of stuff, or getting the Yeti and places like that to manufacture their merch for them. I have, speaking of the Yeti, I have, and it cost me like 20 bucks, but it's tiny, a little acrylic standee of the infamous "What am I fighting for?" scene from Mega Man X4. So, yeah, it definitely seems like Capcom is very open to being like, okay, yeah, Western Mega Man stuff, all good. I believe that, for example, the band The Proto-Men has a very, like, official blessing, basically, from Capcom. By the way, for those of you who have never heard the Proto-Men's album, Act 2, The Father of Death, I will just go right ahead and say I love it quite a lot. I mean, the Proto-Men's other album in general is pretty good, too, but I think Act 2 is the one that's like the real killer. That is a very solid piece of music. Anyhow, I am going to exit this level in just a second. I'm trying to brain together if I have anything else I want to put in here in terms of the Redbubble thing. I'm pretty sure I've seen like a shitload of FGO fan art on Redbubble, and by that I mean I've seen a lot of asset flips from it as well, but I digress. The only other thing that I know of offhand is that I remember like a million years ago trying to look for Homestuck related stuff, and I think that's all gone. But there used to be an unsurprisingly large amount of it on Redbubble because, you know, it was extremely popular. I talk a lot of shit about it and I still like it, so you know, I still have at least an affection for it. Anywho, so we did most of the level. We didn't quite finish it, but we did a fair chunk of it. I think that will do. We've beaten like 90% of the game. At least we will have once we finish the boss here. Let's go ahead and try to round this game out. I gave it my all, but sometimes the controls were a little too much, and other times I just didn't know where the hell anything was. Only care about stickers and posters from Redbubble. That's entirely fair. Shirt quality has been variable in my experience. Hold up, dude. How do I make progress here? Because this is just a pit. I was just over here complaining. Alright, so go across the nails here to this area. So my experience with Redbubble shirts is that I own a small handful of them. And I can't necessarily speak to the quality of the fabric or anything, but when it comes to the print, I have had one of them just get absolutely annihilated in the wash. Yeah, that sounds about right. I would not be surprised if it's a thing that, like, the overall quality has gone down in recent years as well. Because, you know, something in shitification. Okay, this thing did actually start moving. It just seems to be momentum-based entirely. Ooh. Whoops. I could go down the hole. But yeah, no, needless to say, among everything else, I would not trust them to retain their quality. And for a lot of people, I think that's going to be more important than anything else related to it. I'd have to double check, like, what brand of t-shirts they're printed on, because some of those companies fucking suck too, but... And supporting Redbubble would inherently therefore mean supporting them. But, I digress. The stickers have been very quality every time I've had those. And to be fair, I have not purchased a poster from Redbubble yet. but it probably will happen eventually. Right now, a lot of my wall space is taken up with various other posters and stuff. Like, what have I got right now in terms of... Like, hey, who wants to hear about all the stuff that's hung up on my wall, right? Instead of me talking about this video game, which, I mean, this is... A lot of these are kind of like... very normal platformer elements that are sometimes stacked together a little extra, and there's a weird clown head following me. And also, I suck at controlling the video game, but that's not unusual. So, right now, over on the... Oh god, there's like nothing in the corner over there. Oh yeah, probably because it's blocked by the little corner shelf that I have over there, and also the shelving unit that contains all my audio equipment. But over my desk, I've got a print of a piece of art by an artist named Nigel Sade, which... Yes, S-A-D-E, as you would expect, which, you know, fantastic name already. Kind of resembles a very slender, like, businessman in a gas mask. I'll see if I can get a photo of that up on Round the Wheels Discord, because I don't really run one of my own. I've got a... Over on the right side of the desk area, there's a 15th anniversary concert poster related to a comic called The Goon. And you might be saying, what the fuck? A concert poster for a comic book? That doesn't make sense unless, again, we're talking about Homestuck, which... Stop talking about Homestuck. I will stop talking about it at some point. I'll stop mentioning it. But, no, the reason why I have that up there is because... one of the bands that was involved there was, as mentioned before, the Proto Men. And I believe my copy is... I see somebody's signature on there, but I can't see whose it is. And certainly I'm not about to stand up, and this room is not well lit anyway. Hanging directly over my desk, like right in the middle, in fact, basically middle monitor, is... a concert poster, a tour schedule, rather. I don't suppose this was a concert poster. No, this was a tour schedule from Jethro Tull's Stormwatch tour. This might have been, like, pulled from a magazine or something? Either way, I wanted a poster a million years ago with the cover art of that on there, and I found one. This is also back in a time I got this before, like, any of the stuff I've been talking about with regards to people just ripping stuff off and putting it on Redbubble, which also is a thing that happens anywhere else that stuff is sold on the internets. You know, you can find all kinds of crazy rip-offs on eBay if you know where to look. Yes, so I mean, I really love that particular piece of artwork, so I wanted something a little postery that I could put on the wall there. I didn't feel like just putting a record jacket up there, because what would I do with the disc? Over on a piece of corkboard that I have mounted on the wall, I've got my insert thing that came with my Sonic Mania Special Edition for... what, PS3? PS4? I think it was PS4, pardon me. Yeah, it was PS4. The time is all blending together. But, yeah, so that was a game that did not include a disc with it. Instead, it included a digital download code, because despite everything, publishers can still be cheapskates. the Sonic statue that came with Sonic Mania is quite cute. I have that sitting up on a shelf somewhere, but it is made of a rather cheap feeling plastic, as you would expect, and has absolutely no weight to it because it's hollow. But hey, you can put batteries in it and you can press a button on it and it will go Sega, like on the old games. So that's entertaining. And on the opposite wall, oh no, we died. This is hard. This is really hard. Like, geez, this is nasty as hell. But also, we've kind of talked about the level of precision platforming that's involved in this game and how maybe it's a little overkill. I worry that I may simply not be good enough for this. Yes, opposite wall over here, off to my right, if I look all the way across the room, there's my Disco Elysium skills poster that came with my copy of Disco Elysium for PS4. There was no way I wasn't gonna frame and mount that, right? And in the opposite corner from that, so all the way behind me and to the left, there is a Pink Floyd concert poster from the late 80s. So some people would say that's barely Pink Floyd at all, but you know what? It's what I found at the time, and I found it in the early aughts at a flea market, so... And also a postcard of Groucho Marx. So, yeah. Meanwhile, like, basically the entire back wall is taken up by being blocked by large objects. This is... I'm getting a little bit like I've got to push this more because I feel like that jump is just too precise that I've been only just getting away with it, really. And see, sometimes my depth perception just kind of drops off for some of these jumps, which is the other problem. Get on there. Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's just like... Okay, wait, does this just swing back and forth? Does it actually care about your weight whatsoever? I can't tell. Yeah, that kind of seems like a bad idea. Okay, so these have no concern for... Oh no, I think they do. It just starts like free swinging after a period or something. Or maybe it loses its momentum? I cannot tell. All right, here we are, and now we've got these... We got these horrible things that act very, very weird. Well, I mean, they don't seem to be that weird. It just... If you screw up the jump, it will cause problems. Okay, so we gotta... Yeah, go ahead and get some rest. Alright, we cross the tacks again, and... What have we got going on here? Alright then, so we're gonna have to get painted. Let's see what pattern it is. Find out if it's the same one or something. Okay, plus he's got cannons of death and despair here. That could cause us some issues, possibly. Okay, so surely... Yeah, surely we've got to be orange legs, green body, yeah? I have so far yet to get hit by any of the paintballs as they're in air. Maybe that'll change once I start getting zapped here. Hello? There we go. Alright, so there's our green head. And we've painted the head black. That's not what we're looking for here. Okay, get a little bit of yellow paint on the head. Green effect, come on. This... I think I'm out of alignment with it. Alright. So... what are we looking at here? I have a strange feeling that there will be a problem if our thing gets hit while we're on it, but it seemed like the platform... well... okay, so our head got ruined there. Well, it only took off one of the colors. That's weird. Does it matter if we go through here? Just don't get hit by the paintballs? It seems like just don't get hit by the paintballs is a perfectly acceptable way to deal with it. Up we go. Alright, come on. Let's... yeah. Green and orange. Now, off with this. Let's try to not screw this up. And I see the problem. I can't go low. I have to go through the upper path. Alright, buddy. There we go. Alright, that's pretty easy so far. So hopefully this next phase is gonna be easier. Are you allowed to say that anymore, Jojo? 1999. Anyway. So, where are we going? This way? Alright, so that's not such a good idea. I see. But it looks like that's the only way for us to move in order for us to... No, I need it to go the other way. Yeah, so I've gotta land on that in a fairly specific manner. I could really use some sort of health refill. Or, like, hopefully there's actual checkpoints when I die. I know there won't be because this game doesn't really do that, but I'm just saying it would help a lot. Yeah, here we go again. Here we go again. This is quite frustrating for, well, for a multitude of reasons, really. Music in this game would drive you crazy. Yeah, some of it is definitely, like, wearing on me a little bit. It's gotten pretty old. A couple tracks of it, especially because those have been places that we've been stuck for long times. This one we last saw in an area that was short, so, like, maybe they should have kept that as a little bit more of an advisement on how to use the music in this game a little better, but I digress. Alright. So, yes, we need to completely immerse ourselves in the yellow dye first. It would probably help if we could actually get, well... Okay, for a start, it would help if I could get the rest of this done correctly. I'm gonna try actually going for just the red pants area at the beginning. And yeah, there's the opposite of what I wanted to do. Can we get just the headpiece cleaned? There we go. Alright, now... Yellow paint. Alright, and we are green and yellow, and off we go. And by yellow, I mean orange. Oh, dang it! I thought those were protective. Apparently not by enough. Ah. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't get fully repainted from that. Alright, now let's try and do this a little better. I said let's try and do this a little better, and then I immediately... Those defensive-ish barriers are not really living up to that concept too well. They seem to be more for show than for anything. To lull you into a false sense of security. Alright. Area 2 finished. Oh, unfortunately, they put a kill plane there, so I can't sequence break. But I guess that's good to know that that's later in the sequence. But meanwhile, I'm just like, how am I supposed to get up there? Because I don't see it. Why did my double jump not go off, even though I definitely feel like I... And again, that time I very, very much felt the button go. And I got pushed back for it, too. All right. Well, you know what, game? You better let me through without having to redo the paint trial, because I beat it. Otherwise, I'm going to be very annoyed about that. Anyway, this green and orange thing kind of reminds me, how many of you, when you were in grade school, did you have that thing where on St. Patrick's Day, they would try to, like, be like, oh, hey, yeah, wear green or orange, or they would, you know, they'd probably give you a little bit of shit about it, depending on where you were being educated? Or was that just a thing that was going on where I was going to school, which was in the Chicago area? Anyway, we should be in such a position where I can just get under the... Yeah, actually, we're doing quite well here for the color thing, because I can just go here and... I mean, granted, I shouldn't have to redo this. But I think we've been over that part before, and at least spiritually we have. Over we go. Yeah, I've done this before, dude. Don't fucking talk down to me like this. Yes, we know. You're taunting us with... No. I need this to turn. There we go. Let's start going the other way. That's better. Yeah, this was not working before the way I needed it to, which is why I was so frustrated about it. Fuck! No! God damn it, it was working fine, and then I just... Ugh. Now we know I'm never gonna get back on that shit ever again. Come on. Whoa. Why? Why did it start turning backwards? And so fast, too! Actually, that's the... And now my double jump is just not firing properly half the time, which is also cool. Oh. This is, like, really cheesing me off. This is terrible. On many levels. But most especially because these developers appear to have never heard of a checkpoint at this particular juncture. Thankfully, by the time Sly Cooper came out, they seem to have picked up on a very, as basic a concept as that. How far can I zoom out the camera? There we go. Because I definitely felt that time also that I was zoomed in a little close. Oh sure, I once again, I tried to jump off of that, but apparently I rolled off a little too early, so... And because our one voice clip double jump here doesn't really give you aerial momentum, vertical aerial momentum, pardon me. Might be a little more specific. Is that like not turning at all? That's become a problem. I mean, it was going up and down a little bit, but only a little. Well, I hope somebody did a custom sprite for it that turned it into a cash register or something similar. Because, I mean, hey, the jokes are kind of like right there. And I've seen how some of the Infinite Fusion sprites are. Look at how many custom things people do for Porygon Z and that, so... That's good. I'm glad that somebody saw the opportunity and ran with it. Oh, that's fun. Turn this thing. Our good old friend, weird momentum-based spiral thing. Alright, so let's go for the red lower layer here first. God, the hit detection on this is so bad. If I can just, like, reiterate that real quick. This shit is so ass. Like, it's not a good time in terms of trying to actually get the thing to do anything to you at all. But I guess they have to make it quote-unquote hard for the end of the game, which they already have these things that have hit detection that works by just, I'm pretty sure, dark sorcery. Not to mention a camera that works by it doesn't work, but, you know, that's classic N64 foibles. Yes, we already know. I kind of like that guy, at least the way he looks. Okay, so I think it's the down... Oh, fuck you, game! Are you kidding me? It sent me back again! Oh, boy! I'm about this close to just quitting after this, because, like... Really? Really? It functions this poorly? You couldn't be asked to make sure your game actually functions before you shipped it, huh? Well, I guess the late parts of the game are usually the ones where they get the fewest play testers or something. Something, whatever. I am a little annoyed about this. I had to redo this part that barely functions like 5 times because nobody who developed this thought, yeah, maybe we should have progress save at certain points a little better. You know, at the very least, there aren't lives. So on some level, they did know what they were about. I will give them credit for that. Kind of. Even though I've ranted about lives before, but like... Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, so it sent me back to the showers. Remember to get out of the water before you double jump, because apparently that counts enough to kill your access to double jump. Oh, god damn it. I'm sorry, I thought I was further out there, but... like, I don't know if it's just this game or if it's a personal problem in general, but very specifically when I'm doing stuff with this game, I feel like my my depth perception is absolutely in the dumpster. And okay, I may not really be good at that to begin with in the first place, but it feels like it's been especially bad when it comes to this game. And, you know, that very specific thing with regard to any of my vision problems. Just... And we got splorched on the way over, so that's great. Now I have to go reapply the piss paint to just the lower half of my body, and you can tell I'm just super thrilled about having to go backwards through this and screw this up and then take damage that... Just why? Whatever, I can stand in the thing and... Oh, I saw it push me there too, by the way, so that's... interesting? I don't think that from a perspective of, like, that necessarily matters for anything with physics, but... Just, my goodness, this game is really unhinged sometimes when it comes to the physics engine stuff. Like, nobody had any sense of dialing it back for anything. It's just like, oh yeah, everything needs to behave in this way that's like, you know, early, not quite Havoc physics, right? Just... Like, hey, yeah, just, yeah, Okay, so finally we got across there, and unfortunately this isn't a telepad, it's just an elevator. Ah, good. There's bombing to be done, so that's great. I can get myself killed by the physics engine breaking this time. Like, it can be worse than usual. Excellent. At least that went away in one go. There's like no way this thing is safe, is it? Okay, so that's... Alright, fuck it, I'm reading the guide here. Yeah. Okay. So the fan blades are destructible. Alright, now to use the barely functional weird spiral thing here. All right. Wow. Okay, game. I get it. Also, load of horse shit that I threw the bomb and it didn't go. Just... That was great. Anyway, I got a bunch of Discord pings for some reason. I had to go remove those, otherwise they would annoy me for the next, like, 45 minutes. I'm still got a stream time. have to go back over here to redo this. Yeah, okay, so there is a sense of momentum basis, but it's very weird with this. Also, I wish they would stop having, like, the extra just, oh yeah, you gotta swing between each area. Just let me go there on my single wheel. It is absolutely unnecessary to make me do your stupid jumps. I think it's just there to be like, hey, yeah, here's another annoyance that'll take away some of your health needlessly. You know, you don't need that for dealing with the rest of the area. The only thing that damages you is the floor. Like, most of it. It's fine. Alright, head cleaned and just like a nice VHS player. Get in here. Alright, come on. There we go. Somehow I didn't end up getting the other part, even though I definitely feel like I went basically completely through that. Crap. All right. Up we go. Oh, fuck you, game. And now I have to go back through it again because this time I got an extra input on my jump button there, so that's cool. Love it when weird nonsense like that happens. Yeah, now we have to hear the same taunt. Mmm! Alright. Now for the thing that barely works. Go a little bit more to the left for a second. Okay, so the bomb at least tracks us to the start here, which, I mean, I should have known, but still. I guess this is set up so that way you can easily deal with it on the way back, basically. Ah! Fuck! That's much faster than I thought it would be. That hurts my feelings. Alongside my health meter. Slightly more importantly, in this case, anyway. Ah! Fuck! It's so easy to fall off of everything. Nothing in this game has guardrails for some reason. It's abysmal. Which, speaking of which, think about where you end up or something. Down we go. Can I please just get past this stupid fan thing? Maybe we'll discover that there's actually more level here. Because I'm sure this is not it. This game, again, is completely unhinged. This is a game where nobody knows how to make things end. And of course we take an extra damage on the way down because fuck you. The greatest reason for basically everything in this game, to be told. Ugh. I haven't been this pissed off at a game, I think, since... well, the last game I played. No, since Space Station Silicon Valley. And to be fair, I was right about that too. That design was extremely bad in many places. What? How? I'm supposed to go through it that way, right? Do I have to get that far ahead of it in terms of when I'm breaking it? Because I'm not understanding this. Game, do I have to break out the fix your own shitty broken game toolkit, aka the cheat codes? Because so help me God, I fucking will. It won't actually fix the shitty broken game, but I mean, it will do something, I guess. I'd have to actually look him up again and see, but... Also, what is that symbol at the start of this spiral? Is that like a splattered egg? Right, because it's supposed to be based on the carnival area. So I guess that would make sense or something. Anyway, Nah, I don't think I'll do that for now. Yeah, that's just a symbol of a cracked egg. Well, the insides of a, you know, under the eggshell. Okay, we're back here, doing this puzzle for what I swear is the 10th time. And I gotta wonder, does the color only work in certain, like, very specific spots for some of these? Because it kind of feels like it does, but... like, by that I mean that the fluid has, like, a weird hitbox for being able to paint your thing in the air. Alright. Here we go. We're in this area again. Could you not? Okay, yeah, there you go. Now it's decided to start functioning properly, but of course I have the worst possible camera angle for that segment, so that's good. By the way, I've just now noticed that JoJo has spelled world wrong. So, you know, perhaps he's not very good at any of... shit. And, of course, we also took a damage from the bomb in the process because reasons. Why did it not turn back in the correct direction? By the way, hilariously, there's a low friction cheat for this game. I sincerely don't understand why you would need that, because that's just called the entire game. But, alright, sure, Sucker Punch, you just go ahead and be completely unhinged at this point in your history. And also give me a camera angle that is somehow both the correct and incorrect one at the same time, requiring me to do a full 360-degree turn to get back on the right track. Totally logical. I'm also as high as a kite right now, so maybe don't listen to me when I say things like that. Okay, no, it's the armature moving down the thing. Alright, well, here we are. We've made it to section 4 of this. Well, at the very least, the only going back there is when I inevitably die, because... yeah. Okay, so what the hell do I have to deal with here? Okay, this is just like that one part of the Arabian level, but significantly more irritating, I think. Like that, yeah. And I can't get away because just fuck you. That's what. Oh, well, it doesn't damage me at least. But also, God, that is a really absurdly strong whirlpool. Why is it like that? It probably should have at least a little bit of zone of it's difficult to escape before the instant death radius, but, you know, I don't know, perhaps they were going for something a little bit more realistic in a video game for some reason. Okay, this is new, but I actually don't really hate the mechanics of this. Yet! Oh! Ah! I would like to re-emphasize that some smartass decided to have a low friction cheat in this game's cheat menu. Yeah, go back and rewind the tape and tell me why someone would believe that to be useful. Or necessary, or even a thing that a human being could conceive of, really. Is there a grapple point? I mean, there's a grapple beam targeting here, but there's... Alright, so I guess that this is what they want me to do, is they want me to... Game? Game! Game? Okay, so here's an idea. In your physics-based puzzle platformer, do you not believe that it would be a good idea for a critical object to, I don't know, cast a fucking shadow? Now that I realize... What do you want, game? Where is this supposed to go? I have to throw it up there, I guess. Okay, so, sure. I have, like, no time to do that, and... But, you know, okay. Yeah, see, and because, hey, LOL control stick, which I would assume that that would be an issue on the 64 as well, not just because I'm over here using a controller that's not to spec. Fuck. This is awful. This is bad. There aren't really words other than bad to describe this because it's bad. It's just not well designed. All right, sure. That's better. As I have to do these jumps with I want to be the guy level precision here. Okay. I don't agree with that at all, game, but you know better than I do. Apparently. Supposedly. Yeah, how long do we have for the... We have a long time, actually, so, I mean... That's fine, I guess. In this case, because now we have to do some other funny party tricks. Or we don't have time for that. Well, that was odd. It seemed like it bounced off for a second there. That's unusual. Alright, I really need to figure out a way to get this thing up there. And apparently this magnet just... like, it almost forms a full-on wall, dude. Like, it just... I cannot even begin to emphasize how absolutely awful this is. This is... like, I've been quite forgiving with this game up to a point because this was novel. But at this point, like, no, this is just kind of crap, really. And whatever implications it may have had for game design, none of it I'm feeling was worth it anymore, because this just plays in a very awful way. Ah, good. We have a lava lake here. That's fun. As long as this is something where I'm permitted to take my time a little bit. But also, I don't completely know what's going on here aside... these things are rotating around the location here. There's a water spout there, which probably just causes problems. Okay, are these rocks, like, spiraling? Yeah, they're kind of circling the drain a little bit, so... I need to figure out a way to get up them, I guess. Grapple point? Grapple point? No grapple point. Ah, I see. We got these things we can get onto. Just have to get some actual swinging momentum going. Alright, so what's next? Yeah, I wouldn't think that grappling to that would be a very safe idea anyway, so... Oh my god, somehow I managed to get the momentum even though I kind of biffed that pretty hard in terms of my inputs. Yeah, I screwed that up. And at the very least, we still start here, so that's good. Ah! Shit! Ugh! Now, obviously, there's going to be like a boss fight thing at the end of this. Hopefully, it's easy, right? Or at the very least, hopefully they don't make me go through this horse shit level again after I get there and inevitably you know, failed the fight because of having 1 HP or something. Whoa, hey, 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 hey. God damn it, dude. I walked off before I got shot. I'm absolutely furious about this. This is so awful. Why? Oh boy, anything in here to give me like maximum health or something? Okay, Z down, R button left, Z right, up, Z, R button, Z. That didn't work. Hold up. Z down, R button left, Z right, up, Z, R button, Z. Do I have to press this faster? I probably do. Yeah. If I could actually do these inputs correctly, that would probably help. There we go. Okay, so there's a health refill code. It's just it requires us to do the inputs really fast, and it was not in the list of things in the guide for some reason. Give me just a second to get back to that. I tell you, I'm quite tempted to put on the, like, low gravity or something. But no. And game tried to get me back for this, but I'd say I'm too smart for that, but that's false. You're gonna make me jump for this, huh? Yeah, they sure are. It's okay, it wasn't as bad as that, but it was quite scary, like all of these things have been. Alright, so what do you want me to do here? Okay, this is interesting, and also they've never shown us anything like this anywhere else in the game for some reason. Alright, so that part at least was easy, aside from the part where I was almost out of health. Alright, so... does this bomb dispenser follow us? Doesn't appear so. This one at least appears to be functional, though, so that's nice. Now, this spider has done nothing to deserve this, but hey. Video game, you know. Ah! It's a little bit assy, but we're almost done. Do I have to deal with both sides of this, or can I just remove the legs on just the one side? Alright, well, here we are up on its abdominal zone here. Let's take the steps. Fuck you, you overgrown squirrel or whatever, I don't know. Ugh. Alright, so we got some spinny handles here. This... oh, this is gonna be difficult, but in like a proper way. There is a threat of taking damage here, but it's not enough of one, I don't think, to be a real, like, problem here. I could really use these, raising me up a little. Okay, no, it's raising me up. Is there an arm here that's being okay, yes, I see. Ooh, yes. Alright. Now this is a real, proper platform challenge. Like... It's hard, and I'm going to feel like this is earned. So at the very least, hey, yeah, saving some of their better material for later on. Which, after the shitty checkpointing, the shitty physics, and the terrible puzzles, if you want to call them that, we're finally getting into something that resembles a strength. And my hands are really sweaty. Something, something, Eminem lyrics, I don't remember. Excuse me. 1 second. Ah, fuck. I'm just fumbling all over everything right now. Sorry. I just gotta reposition myself in a proper way. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm gonna just... Oh, the music is still playing. That's weird. BRB. Okay, folks, I am back. Hopefully with a little less salt, but of course this area has actually been, like, mostly comparatively fair. When you look at all the other stuff we've had to deal with up to this point. Like, it's fairly painless? Well, I might be stretching the definitions of some words with that, but I wouldn't say that it's any worse, that's for dang sure. Ah. Finally, managed to unfuck it. Alright, will this actually put me up here? Yes, but I have to do that properly. Listen, Raccoon, I'm just over here to kick your butt because you're an asshole. And you suck. Nice, weird electric laser thing here. You mean this big ball? All right, now let's ride this big ball. Let's ride that snake, everybody. Come on. Ah! Let's ride the snake a little bit more carefully, though. Here, come on. You know, look out for the fangs. Ah! Crap. Well, off we go into the abyss. Thankfully, it's not hard to get up there. But I may have to do health recovery in a second here. Also, let me tell you, this climb up makes me quite nervous because, you know, thin platforms. And you might be saying that's quite large, but we've seen the fact that this thing that we're playing as just skids around like absolute, you know, just absolutely wild, right? Now try to stay towards the seam, as long as we can sort of predict that, which admittedly is a little bit rough, but we're there so far. So I guess we just gotta spin this thing faster and faster until it eventually rockets off and, rockets off. Oh, this is a better view, actually. This is... that sound clip actually sounded like he was saying wait, but... that's just kind of what he sounds like the whole time. Oh, is this middle stripe just safe? I literally found a safe spot as long as I just keep jumping here. That's incredible. It is, however, an interesting challenge. I gotta give it up for that. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure the walrus is literally just completely asleep. Also, there's the doctor. I mean, how did he manage to, like, fix it in the first place? Or break that in the first place? Whatever. Anyway. You just make him do it, I guess. But he turned into a ticket. I don't know if that passage is different if you got everything. I don't particularly care to find out. So was there no, like, ending there? Is that just it? I'm gonna go check the other guide and see if it has anything to say about this matter. I didn't see a credit sequence though. Oh. I have to get everything in order to do that. Well, I am not going to do that. I'm sorry. That is the end of the line for Rocket Robot on Wheels. I can input a cheat to go to the credits, I guess. All right, Z down, Z right, up, right, down. Oh, it's a little mini game. We can see the looks of the faces on some of these dudes. As they are basically just bolts with dudes' heads on them. That's kind of cute. So, this game is very interesting as a proof of concept. And for a couple of levels, it's even pretty good. Once you start getting past, like, the second level, though, the issues really start to crop up and become very apparent that this game is not really that good in certain areas. It is too embryonic, and the platforming is too the difficulty gets a little too high, in my opinion, for the kind of things that they demand out of you. At the very least, they had the decency to not give you lives, but the complete lack of any sort of checkpointing whatsoever kind of makes things just irritating at times. Like, technically, I suppose it's not a requirement for there to be checkpoints in any place, but also, even just having to go back and forth between the regular world in Pyramid Scheme and the lava world, I think that's a little bit on the you should have just had something in place there to make this be less of an annoying repetitive action. And then there are some areas where this just fails outright. For example, the glider, which, as I've mentioned repeatedly, controls in a way that is extremely difficult to learn. Oh, these guys are all from Ubisoft. Fuck them. Let's see if I recognize any of the names in there. Actually, no. Then again, the only ones that I remember offhand are Yves Joumeau and Michel Ancel, and I didn't see either of those in there. But, I mean, if they were in there, fuck them big time. But I digress. So, basically, this game really needed to be retuned a little bit in certain places. There's far too much pixel-precise platforming on something that's this slippery for my liking. The controls are a little bit rough. There's minor irritation due to the lack of any sort of like checkpointing or anything like that. Again, not necessary, but it would really save on the amount of repetition required for some things, which is just the part that frustrates me the most about some of those levels. It's not so much, hey, you have to do these challenges, although yes, quite a few of them were very hard due to this kind of being a little bit of a more of a proof of concept than a good game. But more the fact that I just had to keep redoing like the first two sections of that JoJo Land level, that made me very annoyed. If it were not for that, though, the bones of a good game are here, and the technology is very cool, but ultimately this ends up feeling like something that is more spectacle than content. This is a museum piece, to put it nicely. Or perhaps to put it a little meanly, depending on your perspective. Also, the credits level has the Sucker Punch Company logo on there. That's kind of cute. Overall, not sure I can recommend that you play this, at least not in its entirety. But certainly take a look at somebody who's better at the game than I am playing it would be my recommendation. With all apologies to these guys for coming up with a good idea and implementing it fairly well on the N64, I am glad to be done here. And I'm getting a little bit hoarse. But I do want to take a look and see what are people selling this for on eBay. $80, $74.95, $69.99, $74.95, $70. There's like multiple of this listing that basically look exactly the same. And they all say they're tested authentic. That doesn't fill me with confidence. $73.99, $75, $64. Fuck off, dude. $61.09 plus $6.50 shipping. So, like, people are trying to get $70 or so for a loose cartridge of this on eBay. Oh, I see an obvious bootleg, or something that I presume to be a bootleg. It's got an ESRB rating on it, so it's not an EU cartridge. This is, yeah, judging by the grammar, that's definitely bootleg. But yeah, people are charging $70 and up a lot of the time for copies of that. It's not worth that. I'm sorry. A lot of that is calculus from it being, like, rare. Don't do it to yourself. Like, buy these things to play them, which I kind of guess means do not buy this in general. Game's over now. You can stop watching, I guess, if you want. Oh, hey, for some reason, I banned that viewer bot in my chat, and the message is gone, but it's not gone on my OBS recording. That is bizarre. Thanks for nothing, technology. I'm so glad that it exists. Maybe we should just not have technology anymore. I don't know.